Grandma again. Are you ready for Grandma's story time? We're reading The Adventures of the Wishing Chair. Now, do you remember what happened last week? Put on your glasses, Grandma. When we read the last chapter, Peter and Molly's cat, Whiskers, sat in the wishing chair and got taken away. And Chinky did a spell and found out that it was at Dame Kirikiri's. So this chapter is called The Witch Kirikiri. Are you ready? The children dressed themselves again after they had been to bed and slept. Molly had a little alarm clock and she set it for 11:45, so they woke in good time for their adventure. Chinky was waiting for them. "We can't go in the wishing chair," he said. "It hasn't grown its wings again." "I think it's asleep because it gave a tiny snore just now." "Oh, how funny," said Molly. "Oh, Chinky, I do feel excited." "Come on," said the pixie. "There's no time to lose if we want to catch the underground train." He led the children to the tree at the bottom of the garden. He twisted a piece of bark and a door slid open. There was a narrow stairway in the tree going downwards. Molly and Peter were so surprised to see it. "Go down the stairs," said Chinky. "I'll just shut the door behind us." They climbed down and came to a small passage. Chinky joined them and they went along until they came to a big turnstile where a solemn grey rabbit sat holding a bundle of tickets. "We want tickets for Witch Kirikiri's," said Chinky. The rabbit gave them 3 yellow tickets and let them through the turnstile. There was a little platform beyond with a railway line running by it. Almost at once a train appeared out of the darkness. Its lamps gleamed like 2 big eyes. There were no carriages, just open trucks with cushions on it. The train was very crowded, and the children and Chinky found it very difficult to get seats. Gnomes, brownies, rabbits, moles, elves and hedgehogs sat in the trucks, chattering and laughing. The 2 hedgehogs had a truck to themselves, but they were so prickly no one could sit near them. The train set off with much clattering. It stopped at station after station and at last came to one labelled Kirikiri Station. Chinky and the children got out. "Kirikiri is such a rich and powerful witch that she has a station of her own," explained Chinky. "Now listen. This is my plan, children. It's no use us asking the witch for Whiskers, the cat. She won't just let us have her. And it's no use trying to get her by magic, because the witch's magic is much stronger than mine. We must get her by a trick." "What trick?" asked the children. "We'll creep into her little garden," said Chinky, "and we'll make little scrapey noises on the wall like mice. We'll squeak like little mice too, and the witch will hear us and send Whiskers out to catch the mice. And then we'll get her and run back to the station and catch the next train home." "What a fine plan," said Peter. "It's so simple too. It can't go wrong." "Shh," said Chinky, pointing to the large house in the distance. "That's Kirikiri's house." They had left the station behind and had come up into the open air again. The moonlight was bright enough to show them the road, and they could see everything very clearly indeed. They slipped inside the witch's wicket gate. "You go to that end of the house, and I'll go to the other," said Chinky. So Peter and Molly crept to one end and began to scratch against the wall with bits of stick, while Chinky did the same at the other end. And then they squeaked as high as they could, exactly like mice. They heard a window being thrown up and saw the witch's head outlined against the lamplight. "Mice again," she grumbled. "Hey, Whiskers, come here. Catch them, catch them." Whiskers jumped down into the garden. The witch slammed down the window and drew down the blind. Molly made a dash for the big black cat and lifted her into the arms. Whiskers purred 19 to the dozen and rubbed her soft head against Molly's hand. Chinky and Peter came in delight. "The plan worked beautifully," said Peter. "Come on, let's go to the station." And then a most unfortunate thing happened. Peter fell over a bush and came down with a clatter on the path. At once the window flew up again and Kiri Kiri looked out. She shouted a very magic word and slammed the window down shut again. It doesn't say what the magic word was. I wonder what it did. "Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear," groaned Chinky at once. "What's the matter?" asked Molly. "She put a spell round the garden," said the pixie. "We can't get out. She will find us here in the morning." "Can't get out?" said Peter, going to the gate. "What nonsense! I'm going anyway." But although he opened the gate, he couldn't walk out. It was as if there was an invisible wall all around the garden. The children tried and they couldn't get out anyway. They forced their way through the hedge, but still the invisible wall seemed to be just beyond, and there was no way of getting out at all. "Whatever shall we do?" asked Molly. "We can't do anything," said Chinky gloomily. "Peter, was it awfully silly to go and fall over like that just when we'd done everything so well?" "I'm terribly sorry," said poor Peter. "I do wish I hadn't. I didn't mean to." "Well, we'd better go and sit down on the porch," said Chinky, who was shivering. "It's warmer there." They sat huddled together in the porch, and Molly took Whiskers on her knee, saying she'll make a good hot water bottle. They were nodding off to sleep, for they were all very tired, when Whiskers suddenly began to snarl and spit. The children and Chinky woke up in a fright. They saw something flying round the garden like a big black bird. Molly stared, and then she leapt up and whispered as loudly as she did, "It isn't a bird! It's dear old wishing chair. It's come to find us." Chinky gave a chuckle of delight. He ran to the chair and took hold of it. "Come on," he said to the others. "The only way out of this bewitched garden is to fly out, up and up. We can't get out any other way. The wishing chair is just what we wanted." And they all got into the chair. Whiskers was on Molly's knee. The chair flapped its wings, rose up into the air, and flew almost to the clouds. "What will old Kiri Kiri say in the morning when she finds that no one is in her garden? Not even Whiskers," giggled Chinky. "She'll think she's been dreaming. Oh, I wish I could see her face." The chair flew into the playroom. The children said good night to Chinky, and with Whiskers in her arms, Molly ran with Peter up the garden path to their house. They were soon in bed and asleep. And as for Whiskers, you can be sure she never went to sleep in that wishing chair again. Oh, that was a nice ending, wasn't it? That's the end of chapter 9. Come back again and we'll have chapter 10.